were dreaming. Now we're on the come up, steady scheming. We ain't got a lot, but you know we believe in what we feel in our hearts. As we reach for the ceiling, they all just frowned and shook their heads. I nodded with a smile and took their bets. Came out on top and they all on the losing end. Nothing turned out how they thought it really should have been. And I ought to thank them for real. Gave me the fire that turned me to steel. If love is war, life is a battlefield. Headed for the sky, wonder how that'll feel. Ready to be living it, making dividends. Winning is a goal and I know that I'm getting it. My rise to the top is getting imminent. Waiting on the challengers, go ahead and send them in. This song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. Song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. I can see the sun's rays and they're parting the clouds. My path is so clear and I'm walking it now. I think all the haters are starting to doubt. Why they hated in the first place, it's hard to figure out where all of that came from. It's a shame, son, could've come along, but you're digging your grave. Someday we can set aside our differences, and you can chill in my villa, sipping on expensiveness, like with the bitterness. Relax, the battle is over, let me bury the axe. Set down your blades, dull your tongues, we out of the ring, so off with the gloves, and let's shake hands like men do. I don't need to rub it in, what I've been through. It's clear I'm the winner, but you can win too. If you let go of the hate, it's so simple. This song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. Song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. This song's for this song's for this song's for this song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. Song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. Once upon a time we were dreaming, now we're on the come up, steady scheming. We ain't got a lot, but you know we believe in what we feel in our hearts. As we reach for the ceiling, they all just frowned and shook their heads. I nodded with a smile and took their bets. Came out on top and they all on the losing end. Nothing turned out how they thought it really should have been. And I ought to thank them for real. Gave me the fire that turned me to steel. If love is war, life is a battlefield. Headed for the sky, wonder how that'll feel. Ready to be living it, making dividends. Winning is a goal and I know that I'm getting it. My rise to the top is getting imminent. Waiting on the challengers, go ahead and send them in. This song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. Song's for the winners, never giving up, never giving in when life gets tough. This song's for the soldiers, never calling quits. Live for the challenge, they can never get enough of this. I can see the sun's rays and they're parting the clouds. My path is so clear and I'm walking it now. I think all the haters are starting to doubt. Why they hated in the first place, it's hard to figure out where all of that came from. It's a shame, son, could've come along, but you're digging your grave. Someday we can set aside our differences, and you can chill in my villa, sipping on expensiveness, like with the bitterness. Relax, the battle is over, let me bury the axe. Set down your blades, dull your tongues, we out of the ring, so off with the gloves, and let's shake hands like men do. I don't need to rub it but you can win too if you let go of the hate. It's so simple. This song's for the winners, never giving up.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no flight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson, and of course with me tonight is Techie with the mostest, Techie Joe. How are you, darling?
Oh, doing pretty good. Probably better if I actually gave y'all some light.
Let's see your beautiful face, for goodness sakes.
Well, I just realized how dark it was.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. We are here.
Yes, and we are queer, and we are not in the mood to fuck with anybody.
Well, you know, there's that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What I find interesting is we're dealing with the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court tells somebody, they reverse course very quickly, and this is what's called a shadow docket order. There we go. There's the Post. Washington Post is being nice. The Supreme Court on Wednesday reversed course and said Yahtzee University of New York must now comply with states' court orders that it should recognize a campus LGBT rights organization. On a vote to 4-5, the justice said the school, which describes itself as a world premier tourist-based institution of higher education, must now comply with New York State's trial court ruling. The court said that an education institution, the school, must comply with New York City's civil human rights laws and provide Pride Alliances as the same access to facilities as dozen of other organizations. The group said that includes classrooms, bulletin boards, and club fare booths. The university asked the Supreme Court to intervene, and last week, Justice Sonia Sotomayor granted it as a temporary relief. But on Wednesday, the majority justice said the university has other options before the Supreme Court gets involved. It's kind of like, no. You have to go back and start over.
Okay. So, yeah, they're basically going back to a little bit of the beginning. So, yeah. Oh, the First Amendment guarantees the right to the free exercise of religion, and if that provision means anything, it prohibits the state from enforcing its own preferred interpretation of Holy Scripture, said the dissent, written by Justice Alito and joined by Clarence Thomas, Gorsuch, and Barrett. Yet that is exactly what New York has done in this case, and it is disappointing that a majority of this court refuses to provide relief. So, yeah, leaders said the four are likely to grant the case if the university is unsuccessful in New York State Appeals Court, and Yeshiva would likely win if its case came before us. So, yeah.
Yeah. But again, likely is not profitable, as it's only 4-5. So it's a very slim majority,
but it's letting down the line.
Again,
Uh,
Yep.
uh,
This is again why we need to vote blue. We need to get control, and we need to expand the court or limit their abilities. Granted, Thomas better be good. Like Thomas is going to have to, appear and vote on about the January 6th committee and exactly what hands he had in it.
mm-hmm.
Since his wife is called, I don't know, Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, trying to use her position of a justice's wife to get them to overturn their state's elections.
There you go. There you go. So, yeah. Oh. But lots of things going on there.
Right. And it's ridiculous. We should not have to be fighting this in 2013. Well, hell, 2022. Much less 2013.
Exactly.
I don't know. I'm kind of in a bad mood in general today. We've got, unfortunately, the state of West Virginia's governor signing his, moratorium declaring half the citizens of the state of West Virginia as not full citizens.
Yeah. That's enough to put anyone into a bad mood. Yeah.
Yes. The state that, everyone is looking for the light switch with should not be doing shit that its people do not want. And what did he do to celebrate this special session that he wasted our tax dollars on? Throw a barbecue at the mansion that he had to be court ordered to live in.
Which
for the
is kind of ironic.
lawmakers.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic.
It is.
Yes. So yeah, I just need 1 second to get that slide ready. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. They've given us new options, and I'm all excited about that. And then I'm sitting here going, I have to do what to who to huh?
Right.
And it's like, okay. There we go. And print. Hooray. PDF file, documents saved. And then we can come over. Awesome. Come on, finish it up. So upload a file. Hooray! Yeah, I know. Close all tabs. Thank you. StreamYard added new feature. I'm just like, oh, I like this better.
Yes.
It is nicer.
Since we're going to be talking about a few places, this is a graphic that's very important and will remain on our screen while we talk about these.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, just a moment. Oh, where did you go?
Hello, Miss Brenda. How are you? I hope you're well.
Here we go. We have uploading and processing. Yay! Oh, and I like that it doesn't just throw it on screen. I love it.
All right.
So, yay. Good deal.
I'll throw it on screen.
Well, I mean, I like that in versus like some of the other things that I've tried to do. Where it just bleh. Like if you share a window, it immediately just pops up.
Right.
And yeah.
Oh, engagement pictures. How wonderful. Congratulations to the goddaughters.
Hooray. Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
All right. So, Joe, explain this lovely graphic.
So yeah, there's a lovely article earlier this week. Did you grab that one?
I did. It's in your private.
Oh yes, you did. The Monongalia County BOE discusses policy behind removing pride flags. There we go. So yeah. So there's been a recent controversy around the decision to remove pride flags from a school in Monongalia County. According to officials, the decision was not made by just one specific school or teacher, but is a result of Monongalia County Schools policy adopted back in 2020. And Monongalia County Board of Education President Ron Light cited Monongalia County Schools Policy 3231.01 as the reason for the removal. The policy states non-school related activities, including political activities, do not contribute to a positive learning climate and may be disruptive, divisive, and distracting. Therefore, such activities are not appropriate within the school setting. It is the intention of the Board of Education to regulate such activities on all board-owned or used property within all school buildings and all school-sponsored activities. So that's Monongalia County Schools Policy 3231.01. So after, so they basically decided that pride flags are entirely about politics, which is a interesting decision one to make. So yeah, and currently the poll on that is because there is a poll on WBOI. Do you think that pride flags should be included in policy 3231.01? 50% say definitely, 44% say absolutely not, and 6% say I can see both ways. So that's where that's at. Now, here's the thing. So in your upper left corner there of this graphic, you see the school bus. It holds 54 children. Now, right below that is what 26 school buses worth of children look like. I did the math. That holds exactly 1,404 children. No more, no less. Now, West Virginia has a population of 312,000 people between ages 5 and 19. That's the closest I could get to the numbers I needed for this. But ultimately, you like follow the extrapolation here. So, yeah, we have a 1% trans rate in the state of West Virginia. 1% of people in West Virginia, we are the trans capital of the world, or well, at least of the 50 states. We have the highest number of trans people. Okay, we're at 1% of our population is trans or identifies as trans. So now, in a population of 312,000, that means 3,120 students would be potentially trans. Trans people have a 45%, unsupported trans people have a 45% likelihood of committing suicide. 45%. So 45% of that 3,120 is 1,404. That's what your 26 school buses would look like. If those 26 school buses full of children in the state of West Virginia that are currently between the ages of 5 and 19, those are the ones that will not graduate or should not graduate because they were unsupported. 26 school buses worth of children. With support, that number plunges back down to the 0.00014 national teen suicide rate, which means that of that same 3,120 students, if they are properly supported, 0.43 of a child, not a whole child, a 0.43 of a child would be, but would potentially commit suicide.
Yeah. So instead of quoting political priority and trying to draw your Republican lines, why don't you look at those 26 school buses? Because we get to look at them. We get to see 62 of them pass our house twice a day. Twice a day.
Oh, poor Shannon, you did log in at a strange time.
You did.
So, like, but anyway, so I actually read a different article, and the article brought up the 45% rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sitting here, and I did a double take on that, and I'm going, and we're the trans capital of the United States at 1%.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a little over 1%, but I like back of envelope math, especially when we're dealing with numbers this big. So it would potentially be more than 3,120 and
Right.
more than 1,404 students.
Right.
But 1%, 312,000, because I'm sure the exact population between the ages of 5 and 19 is probably not a
Right.
clean 312,000.
Right.
So we'll roll with it.
Right.
But nice little illustrative here that we were talking about the difference between 26 school buses full of children dead
Right.
and one kid somewhere in 55 counties that might, like 0.43 of a child. That's what support, that is the literal difference that support makes. When we're talking about support for many kids, it's literally going into a classroom or into a school and seeing pride flags.
Straight gay
Safe
alliances.
spaces.
Safe spaces.
Alliance groups.
Supportive teachers.
Yeah. Okay. So LGBT rights are political.
Yeah. Why human rights
LGBT,
are
and that's two words. That, like, this is the point I have to point out. It's two words. LGBT, it's an acronym. We'll count it as a word. And rights, that's political. LGBT is representative of groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
They have a flag.
Mm-hmm.
It is an identifier of a community, not a political agenda.
Right.
Like, I don't get how anyone doesn't follow that bouncy ball.
Well, again, this is someone who is uneducated, reading policy and trying to make choices and decisions about children's lives because they don't want to deal with it. It's like, and I'll out him.
Oh, Shannon says, I'd be curious to see a breakdown of Christian-based groups they allow to operate on the same premises. Wouldn't that be fun?
Well, why don't they make Christian athletes a political organization? Because it is.
Well, under this,
Yeah.
under this, like, because fundamentally what you have to say is that, someone's right to live,
Mm-hmm.
someone's right to be who they are, someone's right to exist
Mm-hmm.
is political.
Right.
Well, as much as we have heard about the decline of America
Mm-hmm.
and the horrors,
Mm-hmm.
not horrors, but the horrors of our, of how Christians are treated
Mm-hmm.
in this country.
Sure. And SAD, sorry, it's a political organization. Mothers Against Drunk Driving that runs SAD is a political organization.
It is a very political activist organization.
Exactly. Why are they allowed on campus? Why are their stickers allowed? Why are they allowed to meet then?
Under this. Like, if you're going to look at the pride flag as a political statement,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and SAD's a political statement, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, political statement. Hell, we might be lucky to keep the FFA.
Future Farmers of America, nope, they're political. They actually back candidates and have candidates come in and talk to their future farmers of America. Same.
Like, Like name an organization. Like, good luck keeping your journalism.
You're right.
Like, I guess we have to stop producing the school paper because, journalism class, we can't say that anymore.
Right.
Because fundamentally in that class, you're going to get taught about things like freedom of the press. It's a very political based concept that you have to learn.
Right.
If we're going to go to that extent and walk that line that far.
Right. So, instead of creating this chaos, why are they not stepping up mental health? Why are they not pushing mental health, especially with the level, and I do mean the level of child suicides going on? Why are they not backing their children?
Yeah. I don't get it. Does anyone get it? Can someone explain it to me?
Yeah.
Because I don't get it.
Yeah.
No one gets it?
We saw an increase of prom drinking and driving and accidents. Every school in this freaking state does that car wreck reenactment right around prom.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry, I did make a misstatement, and I do want to fix that real quick. The actual number is 1% of those 13 to 17.
Right.
Sorry. So I'm extrapolating. The 5-year-old will eventually be a 13 to 17-year-old.
Right.
The 19-year-old was a 17-year-old and on backwards. I'm doing extrapolation just because you can't get a thin line number of 13 to 17-year-olds in the state of West Virginia.
Right.
You have to deal with 5 to 19 number.
Right.
Okay, fine. I dealt with 5 to 19 numbers, so that's what it would look like. 2 years worth of students wouldn't have graduated, and let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, years worth of students wouldn't have even hit the 13 to 17 range, or won't hit the 13 to 17 range, somewhere in there. They won't graduate.
Right.
We will bury 1,404 children.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. My high school paper advisor freaked out because I wrote an article about how girls were claiming to be Muslim on bad hair days, and I wrote an article that the gist was, can I be a bad hair day Muslim too? But all the Muslim kids were happy I said something because they thought they'd get targeted for it. Hell Stop, that's what they call the program. Got to go through a car accident and then through the different levels of hell.
Yeah.
That's an interesting article, Shannon. Wow. I just can't imagine. Okay.
Yeah.
Bad hair day Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So we go on to look at another state.
Mm-hmm.
We see how they're handling this. This is a war of words between 3 Denver County Catholic schools. The topic of LGBT
schools.
Yeah.
Wow. Want me to take it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Denver, who holds the more conservative Catholic beliefs? The topic of LGBTQ+ is at the center of a tense exchange and claims of defamation by Regis Jesuit High School, St. Mary's Academy, and a letter mentioning both by officials at St. Thomas More Catholic School. It's all just drama at the end of the day, Maddie Shepherdson, an alum of St. Mary's Academy, said. That's how she described a series of letters and statements from 3 schools. The initial letter from STM informed students and parents they would not invite RJHS and St. Mary's to a recruitment event. Both schools are landing spots for grade school students going to high school. In their letter, officials at STM claim both schools endorse same-sex relationships and hold other positions contrary to Catholic principles. Quote, they are still very much Catholic schools with Catholic teachings. an alum from RJHS told Fox 31. Alumni from both schools denied the statement from STM. Their statement that they made was hateful and it encouraged bigotry, and that is not okay, Shepardson said. The RJHS alum, who himself is part of the LGBTQ plus community, said the issue does more to exclude people than to promote church values. Doubling down on this old-fashioned rhetoric instead of welcoming more people, being more inclusive, and bringing more people to the church, he said. Shepardson said her experience at St. Mary's, which replied to STM's letter embracing students of all faiths, beliefs, and human longing, was fulfilling. As a St. Mary's Academy alumni, I can confidently say I thrived not only academically, but also able to enrich my belief. Both alumni called the issue inconsequential to any student educational experience at either St. Mary's or RJHS. They're an excellent choice in terms of education, the RJHS alum said. Shepardson said it might have consequences when it comes to your personal beliefs. Try to look past these old, traditional, outdated beliefs, Shepardson said. Fox 31 reached out to all three schools about the spat between them and only received a reply from Regis Jesuit High School. They said they are exploring all potential remedies in this situation, and as such, it would be inappropriate at this time for us to discuss this matter with you. Hi.
Uh-huh.
God. Okay. Oh, gotta love Catholic high schools.
Oh. Sorry about that.
What?
Oh, it goes right into video.
Gotta love when that happens.
Oh. And, then we go over to New York.
Well, now, before we go to New York, we have to roll, don't we? We have to roll now.
We'll cover this and then we'll roll.
Okay, we'll cover this and then we'll roll. Fair enough. All right, so Penfield School's policy to discontinue enrollment of LGBTQ students sparks backlash. A local private school is facing backlash from some parents over changes to its student handbook. The new policy from Charles Finney Schools says it reserves the right to discontinue enrollment of LGBTQ students. Heidi Buckler enrolled her daughter at Finney, a Christian school in Penfield, in 2018. Her son would follow soon after. When we first initially met with everyone, they seemed nice and warm and welcoming, Buckler said, and it seemed like a nice family atmosphere. Buckler, who describes herself as spiritual, thought a religious education would be beneficial. They talked about Jesus and the Bible, and we thought that's a great thing for the children to learn about in addition to a strong curriculum. This summer, she received an email from the school about updates to the student handbook. The changes shocked Buckler. The student lifestyle section in particular I found hateful, and I had to read it a couple of times to make sure I was reading it properly, she said. The school said it reserved the right to discontinue enrollment of some students. This includes, but is not limited to, homosexual lifestyles or alternative gender identities, and or promoting, encouraging, or influencing other students about such practices on campus, the handbook reads. It goes against everything I thought the school stood for because the Bible says that Jesus loves everyone regardless, said Buckler. You are specifically singling out one particular group of children that are no longer welcome in your school. Penny president Michael Van Leeuwen told 13 WHAM students have never been asked to leave, but the promotion of alternative lifestyles on campus are not permitted as they do not support our mission as a school. A second parent who asked to remain anonymous to protect her children said the school held a panel on sexuality this past spring that included a conversion therapist. My son said they never called him a conversion therapist, but said he could work with you to make you not gay. The mother, whose son is LGBTQ, told 13 WHAM. I was furious. I couldn't believe they would actually bring someone in to say these things to convince kids that they need to change who they are. Conversion therapy is illegal in New York State, and Van Leeuwen denies that took place. He said a panel discussion was held on what he called alternative lifestyles. Quote, the message was not confrontational or condemning in any way, shape, or form, said Ben Lewitt. Assemblywoman Jen Lunsford, a Democrat whose district includes Penfield, says she has heard from parents about the panel as well. As for the school's LGBTQ policy, Lunsford said religious schools have broad protections under the First Amendment. Quote, they can effectively do whatever they want so long as it is in line with the ethos and values of the religion that they subscribe to, and legally they are insulated from most legislative action that would otherwise protect students in public or non-religious settings, she said. Lunsford added that while the school may have legal protection to institute the policy, she does not believe it makes it right. Quote, this is why you see higher suicide rates among people who are LGBTQ, Lunsford said. This is why students who are part of that community are subject to bullying and harassment at substantially higher rates than their other peers. And I think this kind of language that dehumanizes people causes real-life threats to our children. Buckler said she felt compelled to speak out. Quote, to say that they will disenroll you because the way you were born is wrong to me, and I think people should know about it, she said. So, yeah, that's a lot going on from there. But let's kill this one with the school statement.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, the Charles Finney School's mission is to provide quality education in the context of a distinctly Christian environment and values. It is the school's desire to develop and communicate policies that reflect Christian values, seek to educate, restore, and heal. The desired outcome is never to offend, wound, or condemn. Students have never been asked to leave the school, nor will they be, based on their beliefs regarding alternative lifestyles. However, the promotion of alternative lifestyles on campus are not permitted, as they do not support our mission as a school. As a private school, parents have the choice to enroll or not based on their personal beliefs. And it continues, we have never had a therapist on campus telling students that they would work with them to make them not gay. Nothing like this has ever been mentioned by anyone at our school. We had a panel discussion last year that included a variety of people from various backgrounds addressing questions students had in regards to alternative lifestyles and answered those questions based on a biblical perspective. The messaging was not confrontational or condemning in any way, shape, or form. We are a very diverse, loving community, and our desire is that all of our students know that we love and care for them regardless of their political, religious, or sexual identity.
But yet, West Virginia now allows our tax dollars to go for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, Brenda, yes, they can legally not accept or discontinue a student. Yeah.
Yeah, they can legally not accept. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can reject them. They can throw them out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
basically what was said and what protections they have in New York, despite conversion therapy being illegal and the fact that supposedly they did not bring in a conversion therapy therapist who totally didn't say that thing that apparently a few kids heard. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
they are legally protected so long as whatever reason they find to throw you out for is supported by the by Catholicism.
Right.
Like somewhere, somehow meets
some ordainment says it's right. This was so.
And
right.
fundamentally, it would get into a situation of how much money do you have to sue?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where this could go. Is like do you want to fight the school? Because your kid's going to be out of college before you get this resolved.
Right.
That's sort of like Gavin, I can't remember his last name, in West Virginia. He was a kid who was trans who had to sue his school system. I believe that was West Virginia.
Yes.
Like I think by the time they finally decided that, he was already in college. Like, because that had to go through a lot.
Yeah.
Like West Virginia didn't back down on that one. We wasted a lot of educational money fighting it. He ultimately won. But yeah, no, they can legally not accept students at a private school. Like, private school can do whatever they want.
Right, but this is what Jim Justice wanted the religious bill to go for.
Yeah.
So that parents wouldn't have to, spend their money. They could spend our money to build their bigotry. All right, guys, we are going to take a break, and then we will be back.
Hi, I'm Dottie the Psychic, and I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not wearing any makeup. Well, one reason is to irritate my social media manager, Aeson Knight. Hi, Aeson. The other reason is because I like to get to the naked truth about what it means to be a neurodivergent LGBT person with psychic abilities. I've got vlogs, blogs, and podcasts and videos all related to trying to live my best life and helping witches and bitches do the same thing. So, you can check all that out and get a reading from Dottie the Psychic at DOTTIEthepsychic.com. Safe travel and much profit to you.
Do you have a cute pet? We know you do. Each week, Tracy Van chooses from submitted photos a featured reader for her Facebook page and provides a tarot reading. Your adorable pet cat, dog, rabbit, goat, chicken, snake, or more could be her next featured reader. Visit tracyvan.com, TracyVann.com, and click Featured Reader to submit. We look forward to seeing your pet next.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here, and I am here to tell you how to get in contact with me and a little bit about what I do. I am the High Priestess that works with shadow work to help you grow and heal, and I work with access bars, Reiki, I do power forms. I'm recently getting into crystal healing, sound therapy as well. So you can go to Lady Gwendolyn Healing, that is LadyGwendolynHealing.com. Book your appointment with me. I do in person, I do over the phone, I do over Zoom. We can do that as well. My main goal is to help you grow and heal, because I've been there, I'm still going through it, and let my strength help guide you. See you soon.
Hey everybody, Natalie here from The Pendulum's Path. If you are in need of guidance, direction, spiritual connection, healing, or more, you have come to the right place. I have worked as a psychic and a medium for over 3 years, connecting people from all over the world with their loved ones, giving them insight and guidance into their current situations, their past healings, their blockages, and what they need to know in order for them to have a better future. It would be my absolute honor if you would come to my website at www.thependulumspath.com. Visit my shop. I have a whole bunch of crystals, oils, balms, mystery boxes, and more. And visit my services. I offer 15-minute, 30-minute, and 60-minute sessions. I also have email readings available if you're not comfortable with the one-on-one session with me, or if you just want to try me out. I encourage you to come visit me at the Pendulum's Path, and let's get you back on the right track today.
All right, and we are back. Now, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask my listeners, and this is going up on the public page, and I'm asking the baristas. I'm going to put that graphic out there. I want to see how far it can go. Can we hit the West Virginia, if you know a representative, tag them, share it to their page. If you know of a school board member, tag them. If you know a teacher or principal on your Facebook, either share it to their profile or share it directly to, or tag them in the page. It's going out on my social profile, Aeson Knight on Facebook, and I'm going to put it over on Instagram and Twitter. So anywhere y'all are following me, go grab that graphic and get it there. Yes, we did, Ashley. We moved it to 8 p.m. The baristas decided that would work better than having a floppy schedule.
Yeah, we were a little bit all over the place there for a hot minute. Our life changed. We're sorry.
Yes.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
But we're glad you can join us.
Yes. But
so,
my point being is, let's look at this graphic, and as far as many of these board members and the baristas, I will post the board members' information and where you can find that at any school board in the state of West Virginia. You know, grab them and get them there.
Absolutely, and hopefully we can get some traction on that, help them understand what they're doing in the state of West Virginia, as we're talking about pride flags as tools for politics.
Yep.
And it's
and
like,
we now broadcast at 8 p.m. Yeah. All right, so moving along, we're going to go into a little bit of weird news.
Okay. Well, I do want to add one more thing on that one real quick before we do that. I wonder if we could get them to have to take down the American flag, because that ain't fucking political.
True.
If that ain't political, I don't know what it is.
Right.
Wouldn't that be a moment?
Right.
All right.
Alrighty. So, moving into weird news. Man pleads guilty for threatening to bomb Morin and Webster's offices over gender definitions.
Okay.
A California man pled guilty last week for threatening to shoot up and bomb dictionary publisher Morrison Webster's offices over the inclusion of gender definitions and making similar threats to various other people and institutes and institutions, federal prosecutors announced.
Oh, good grief.
34-year-old attempted to threaten Webster and the president of the University of North Texas, Walt Disney Company, the governor of California, the mayor's office in New York City, a rabbi, and a professor at Lemora Maymount University in California, according to the announcement from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts Wednesday. Who was arrested back in August, frequently suspected subjects of his threats, communications because of gender identity, sexual orientation of various people, prosecutors announced. Harris is convicted for 2 counts of interstate communication of a threat, communication to commit violence, one threat to Webster, and another threat against the University of North Texas president. He faces up to 5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine, according to the attorney's office. A federal judge will set his sentence. Really, we're going to threaten people that create dictionaries.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is where we're at, guys.
Yeah, this is where we're at. First, we started a book burning. Now we got people trying to bomb dictionary offices.
Over words that they have defined. These can't be, how new of an edition can these be? Did someone just find out?
Well, 1946.
I'm just sitting here, I'm just gender identity added to dictionary. All right. So ABC News 2016, they have added, let's see. Yep. So there's a story from ABC News. Merriam-Webster adds genderqueer, gender fluid, and gender neutral title MX to dictionary. This is from 2016, April 26th. Merriam-Webster has added gender-inclusive words to its unabridged dictionary, including cisgender, genderqueer, and the gender-neutral title MX, as part of a big update of over 1,400 new words to its lexicon. Though the update was announced last Wednesday, the gender-inclusive editions received widespread attention Monday evening when Merriam-Webster threw some shade on Twitter at critics of the editions.
Right.
Merriam-Webster. People keep, one, saying they don't know what genderqueer means, then two, asking why we added it to the dictionary. Shade, Merriam-Webster, shade.
Oh, they've got to have the same social media manner.
Oh, it's lovely. It's certainly very quote. It's certainly very interesting to see people criticizing us for including the words, but then asking what they mean. Merriam-Webster lexicographer. Emily Brewster told ABC News Today they end up providing exactly why we needed to add them. Right. In addition to adding the words genderqueer, cisgender, gender fluid, and transphobia, Merriam-Webster has also updated the meanings for existing words non-binary, gender expression, and gender identity, Brewster said. Numerous LGBTQIA+ and gender-inclusive advocates have said they regard Merriam-Webster's additions as important validation for people who use such terms to describe themselves and their experiences. The additions are also a reflection of society's growing understanding of gender as a spectrum rather than a binary. So, yeah, quote, just because these terms are now in the dictionary doesn't suddenly make them real, but their additions do provide important affirmation and validation at an institutional level, said Joel Baum, Senior Director for Professional Development at Gender Spectrum, a national organization that, quote, helps to create gender-sensitive and inclusive environment for all children and teens. Quote, the fact is there is literally a difficult convincing process that many non-binary people have to go through to prove their existence or experiences are real, Baum told ABC News Today. This is just another arrow in the quiver to help the general public understand their experiences. Not everyone identifies as male, female, or transgender. So, yeah, that article goes on, but quite frankly, it's from April 26th, 2016. Hello, it's been a few years. I think someone should have, if they were gonna get mad, done that a while ago.
Go. All right, and mixed does replace Mr. or Mrs.
Does. Yes. I just want to see real. Okay, let me get a shorter version of this link because it's gonna blow up if I share it out. And we will share that article for you guys in case you want to read more. There is a little more to it. It's a great article. So yeah, oh, that's not where I wanted to go. Link, short error. Give me something. That's where it just was. Tiny URL. Dude, you're getting my business. There we go. And yeah, I don't care. Make a tiny URL. Okay, and copy. So there we go. There's the article. Y'all can check into that. At least for, when Merriam-Webster added gender queer, gender fluid, and gender neutral title MX.
Right.
And am I saying that one right? Is it MX? Yeah. Like, I don't know. I keep having this moment. I keep seeing MX. You know what we should do?
What?
Go over to merriam-webster.com, which I believe is m-w.com. Is that it? Yes, m-w.com. I thought I remembered. And we will look that up. And it is MX. It is MX. That is the appropriate pronunciation. It was first used as a noun in 1973 and 1977, depending upon the version.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So, alrighty. That was fun.
Now, let's talk about some more darker news.
Ugh, more darker news? God!
Yes. The Ukrainian war, latest. Bodies buried, so signs of torture found in Aeson mass graves. Now, we can't even, they can't even show the video. in this news story of what was found, but bodies discovered at a mass grave in eastern Ukraine city of Imyan are mostly citizens showing signs of torture, Ukrainian authorities said. On Thursday, Ukrainian officers say they found a mass grave containing 440 bodies and said there was proof of war crimes carried out by Russian forces. Russia has not publicly commented on these matters. The region's governor, and I cannot pronounce his name, said that people had met a violent death and that their bodies with hands tied behind their backs early on Friday. Police chief, again, cannot pronounce the name properly, said that the preliminary estimates the bodies showed most of them were citizens. Ukrainian president said the video addressed overnight that Russia was leaving death behind it everywhere, and that must be held responsible. On Friday, he alleged that whole families were buried, and said people were tortured, likely aftermaths of Russia's withdrawal from Neo-Kiev months ago.
Ooh. Ooh.
I think there is a project in South America of them having to go in and literally go grain by grain, dirt by dirt, and to be able to identify, okay, the bodies. Their DNA testing, they're going to have to do this in the Ukraine. This is sickening. Somebody needs to hold Russia accountable, and I do mean accountable.
I have a horrible suspicion this is going to end up in a war crimes tribunal. Because yes. I'm sorry, that's
right.
No.
Yeah.
Just having a moment.
Mm-hmm. Now, Abbott and DeSantis are using their busing ideas from Jim Crow laws. If you also don't know, migrants were misled and were flown to Martha's Vineyard. Of course, Martha's Vineyard has kicked in there, pulled the shit together, got everything going on. New York has had to do this. Other places have had to do this because, these people want to fly migrants all over the place and bust them all over the place, but they're being misled. They're told one thing, and there's actually another is occurring. They don't even know where they're going, and I think that they should be charged with kidnapping. Mm-hmm.
Well, it looks like Russia has a history of saying screw the Geneva Convention, so
yeah. Of course,
it's still a signatory to the Geneva Conventions, which is made up of 4 treaties and 3 additional protocols. It has rejected one of those, at least as of 2019, October 16th. And that one concerns. So Putin's letter dated October 16th, an address to the Speaker of Lower House of Parliament on the quote, recall of the statement made at the ratification, in quote, said an international commission set up in order to investigate war crimes against civilians, quote, has effectively failed to carry out its function since 1991. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so there's a lot going on with that. So Russia has been accused by critics of causing multiple civilian deaths since its involvement in the Syrian conflict. It was also blamed for killings of civilians during its short war with Georgia in 2008. Moscow denies the allegation. So, yeah, basically they revoked that protocol of the Geneva Convention, so they are fighting outside of that and will kill civilians with whatever force they deem necessary.
Or whatever style they deem necessary. This is sick. They need to be held accountable, and they need to be held accountable very swiftly.
Yeah.
But the Ukraine are kicking ass. They've almost pushed them out of the country. Of course, Russia's spinning as they don't want to go to, that Ukraine doesn't want to go to peace talks. No, they want to kick your ass out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have peace talks. I hope they gain territory on you.
That's war with Russia.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sad reality of a war with Russia.
Mm-hmm. Well, not only that, but it's a sad war when you have literally brought out the grandmas out of the kitchen with the damn skillets going, oh, we ain't taking this shit. We're going to bring you home to your mama.
Well, basically, yes.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's the ones that run.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ones that run. The ones that stay are basically fighting however they fight.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we're going to take our top of the hour break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back, Goblins! My name is Jason, and I am the host of the Esoteric Book Club, a podcast that examines titles on the magical, paranormal, the mysterious, and the strange. I release 2 episodes a month in which I review books on esoteric topics, recap news of the weird, and conduct interviews with authors, practitioners, and experiencers. The Esoteric Book Club can be found on every major podcast service or can be streamed directly from esotericbookclub.org.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I provide a blended reading consisting of mediumship, psychic, and tarot cards. A reading from me can cover any guidance you need from relationships with your partner or your family, spiritual, financial, any questions you may need clarity on. If you would like to book an appointment with me, check out my website, tracyvan.com. That's TracyVann.com. I have bookings from 15 to 60 minutes you may choose from. That helps if you just have a quick question, need an answer, or if you're looking for a reading in more depth, I'm here to provide the guidance and clarity for you. Let's just figure it out. Bye.
Hi, Techie Joe here. I work with Aeson Knight and some of the best psychics in West Virginia to create amazing live streams and podcasts for the Psychic Coffee Shop Network. Together, we brew up great content discussing news, events, hot topics, and more, all from a psychic perspective. On the Psychic Coffee Shop, we interview amazing authors in the metaphysical realm. Coffee and Tea combines Aeson with Tracy, Dottie, Natalie, or Lady Gwendolyn for the good and the bad of being a psychic. Shameless Self-Promotion with Dottie the Psychic talks to leading and emerging YouTubers and business owners in our community. Mountain Bears brings you the latest in LGBT news and politics. The Psychic That Plans answers the question of, well, how a psychic plans. Plus, we're live on air. We take your comments and your questions, including psychic advice questions. Check out our amazing programming, book an appointment with top psychics, and find out all the wonderful things we have to offer at PCSBnetwork.com today.
Hi, I'm Aeson Knight. I provide tarot readings covering everything from love and relationships to your life questions and your most spiritual answers. And also, I provide a lot of guidance in finances and divorces and all those relationship problems. So, if you'd like to get a reading from me privately, not on air, you can feel free to do so by visiting aesonknight.com and booking your appointment. I also provide on-demand services, so if your life is a little chaotic, you can go ahead and click that call now button there on my site, great for a quick answer question. All right, guys, back to the show. Enjoy. All right, welcome back. All right.
Hey, Emily.
Hello, Miss Emily. Welcome. You're just grabbing us at the break. So I didn't choose a poly advice question. Joe did.
Oh, did I now?
Yes, it was posted in one of your Facebook groups, and I
Oh,
thought we'd talk about it.
oh boy. Okay.
Okay,
gotta go
here's
back.
the scenario. You have an older gay couple.
Oh, yes. Yes. And I cannot pull that one up fast enough. So we're just going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. Break it down for us.
All right. So basically, this is an older couple, no children. Not older senior exactly, but like hitting the verge when you start going, okay. So let's just go with like late 50s, early 60s. So if they were in West Virginia, which they're not, they're actually in, I believe, Denver area, or no, excuse me, Texas. They're in Texas.
Yes.
They own some property. They're not rich, but they own some property. They've got a little bit of money. And effectively, this popped up into a polyamory group because they were trying to effectively match with a single or a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't sure quite what they were doing. But that was their goal, is to match up, I believe, with a younger single or couple. They want to take the property, and I'm assuming, money and all of it, put it into what would effectively be a trust. And then effectively what happens is, like, the younger single or couple takes care of the older couple or single as, their health and life progresses or ends. And then it keeps dwindling, down to the remaining trustees until eventually the two of you are left or one of you is left. As basically their retirement plan, to avoid, assisted living, retired living, nursing home living, and deal with the situation that they're in which, they're starting to enter that point where they have to consider, okay, we have health issues. We're going to continue to have health issues. We're going to have more health issues, and we really don't like our options. So they were looking for someone there. So that's the general gist of it, is what was going on.
And, they brought up a very interesting conversation in the house, and this is the reason I chose this as my topic this week. Final life planning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's quite final life planning. It's not how you're going to get buried, which is where most people go, or end of life planning, where it's like, okay, you're choosing how you die.
Right.
This is more, okay, we've got to retire and we have to have our needs met planning. So, retirement and needs meet planning.
Right.
So, yeah, we're hitting all the heavy stuff.
Right. So this is what standardly happens in a poly relationship, either one or two models of preferral. One is you do wills and you cross wheel owned property to each other, and it can be very complicated. The other, and this is something that I think that we will probably go with, is we just put all our assets in an LLC and have everything in the LLC stand on its own, because that then creates
LLC
its own,
or a trust.
Right. Well,
those are
basically
the
both.
Trust is the other one. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That way, there isn't we built a life for 40 years, the three of us. And
or more.
And we got to figure out, well, who do you want to take the house? Well, I don't care who takes this house. Well, who do you want to take the cars? I don't know. Your niece has been nice this month. Let's give it to her.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
No, so it does become a need to figure out assets and property.
Right.
That's one side of it. The other side of it, the side that I think concerned me more, was this sounded like they were pretty, upfront, like all cards on the table kind of couple. And I'm going, you may not, because and they're sitting there going, we don't have a lot.
Yeah.
Like we've got a house and some property and a little bit of money. It's not a big deal to them.
Right.
And I'm sitting here going, you are shining a bat light into the sky for some really screwed up characters, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a lot to you. And at the end of the day, it may not be a lot.
Right.
But you need to be really careful with that.
Right.
You can attract some very ugly people that will gladly beat the hell out of you for 10 grand, which property and house and a little bit of money is easily more than.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you go into this situation, it's okay for a couple of years, one of you starts to slip, and next thing you know, it's an ugly story on like one of the channels you watch. And like hacked up dismembered bodies galore. And then it doesn't have to be a lot of money.
No.
It doesn't.
I have seen families fight over items of a nickel, a quarter. They're vultures every time. I love Shannon's comment here. I swear, my family had me at the point of drawing a circle in the dirt, putting whatever people were fighting over in the middle, and basically saying, whoever was left standing that round got it. And I've seen family. I have dealt with families that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens.
It does. It does.
I have a firm belief that there's just like, if it's not a shit show before the funeral, if it's not a shit show at the funeral, it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
During probate and assets. Like there's like, or it's going to be all of the above or a couple of the above. Like, you don't get out of, no one, zero people get out of the someone died shit show. It's always a shit show. Like, you don't ever do what now?
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, no, you don't ever sit there and think you're getting out of the someone died shit show.
Exactly.
Always.
That's why, every family. That's why, I am of the firm opinion that you need a very instructable will. You also need a very instructable trust pre-set up if you want to remain at home and you want to own your property. I don't know if we'll get to that point. We may get to the point if we sell every damn thing and move to Florida and rent us a nice little condo in a senior living community and enjoy the fuck out of it. And make sure that our bank accounts have no more than enough to bury us in.
Well, there you go. Like there's a lot to consider there.
Right.
But no, it doesn't seem like that much. And it's easy to think that. Like, you own your own home, you own some property, you got a little bit of money in the bank. It's not a whole lot. It's not, But you start selling those assets.
Yeah.
And that money adds up. But more importantly, when you start advertising this,
right,
it will attract people that have less.
Yes.
Period. End of discussion. If you're sitting there and you're going, well, we're not multimillionaires. Well, you're not talking to multimillionaires. That's not who you're talking to. You're looking for people, presumably, because you want this to be a mutually beneficial relationship, that are in a situation that they're willing to consider this, that this sounds like an okay thing to them.
Yeah.
So the biggest group of people that are going to go for that are going to be people that have less, and like, hey, I got to take care of like a couple old gay dudes for like, 5 to 20 years, and I get a house and money and a car
and life.
Like, all right, doesn't sound bad. And especially when you have someone that's coming into it that's not really looking like, or not sounding necessarily like they've really like talked to a lawyer. They've got someone lined up to do like a background check and fingerprinting and, go through all this and make sure that, they hit all the databases and make sure you don't have any issues related to like elder or incapacitated adult abuse, that you're doing reference checks, that you're talking to some people before you do this, because this is not a poly setup for like marriage of convenience. This is poly of convenience.
Yes,
it's not a sexual relationship, and they clearly stated this. This is not a sexual relationship. This isn't love in any like that's not what they're looking for. They're effectively looking to create substitute children.
Right.
Like someone who's younger than they are.
Right.
That can roll this long term and ensure that like they die with dignity and respect in their home.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. That they're looking down the road and the possibilities and the issues that could happen.
Right.
If, the two of them both become, older and sicker and
right.
incapable.
And this hit at a weird time too, guys. Like it just hit me at a weird time.
Okay.
Or my Patreons will call it the scooter incident.
The scooter incident.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I swear to God, he drops one casserole dish. You would think he was going to a nursing home tomorrow.
You've already got the pamphlets, I'm sure.
Shady Pines.
That's fine. I will gladly move to Florida, honey. But it really talks to, the situations that, gay seniors are now facing.
Well, and that we're now having more options. Or more importantly, after... I think the previous... Like, we're hitting an intersectional generation. Because if you back up, we lost so many people during the 80s and 90s that just never made it.
Right.
They didn't make it. They disappeared.
Right.
Like they died of HIV and AIDS. So that took a big chunk out of the population. Okay, you back up before them to our aging seniors. And they just kind of went back in the closet.
Yep.
And died out their years in nursing homes pretending that they were just, the guy down the street. Then you start flashing forward and the post, 80s, 90s, or those who were in relationships in the 80s and 90s, the late 80s and 90s, they are now starting to hit that point when they're having to consider, okay, well, we've made it to like 55, 60. We're in decent health. Oh yeah, HIV treatment got way better. So even people who got HIV are not progressing to AIDS. and will most likely die of any old people reason.
Right.
Fell down the stairs, drank too much, all the normals. Not HIV or, not AIDS. That's not going to be the listed cause of death. More than likely. Like, there's like a marginal version of that, but that's not for the show.
Right.
So now they're having to consider this planning. And they're looking backwards and going, yeah, I ain't going back in the fucking closet. Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Like, I'm not doing this. And then you couple that with a group of people that are also going, nursing homes are too damn expensive, and I didn't get a job that gave me the opportunity for long-term care insurance and didn't have the money for it, or whatever reason, to go, I don't have long-term care insurance for $8 to $10 grand a month,
right,
in nursing home care.
Right. Well, not only that, but the option to actually go to a nursing home where you can be well cared for, and your partner can be in the bed on the other side of the bed, or come visit you on every day, or however they want to run that. There's still assets to divide and situations to figure out. Need to talk to an estate planner, because you need to, and I promise you, that family member you haven't heard from in 30 fucking centuries will show up at the county courthouse on probate day.
They may love the sin or hate the sin, but I'll tell you right now, the cash box starts ringing. They love them some money. They love them some money. They don't care where it comes from. They will love some money.
Right.
And they'll do whatever they have to get it.
Right. All right. So let's move on to, are you an asshole?
Yes. All right. So am I the asshole for ripping up a check in front of my husband? I, 29 female, and my husband, 30 male, got married in June. I recently found out that I will be expecting, and we are very excited. Money has been a little light due to my husband only working part-time. He wants to spend his free time by building a baby room. I think it's very sweet, and I'm very excited to see the room. My parents and husband get along okay. They are worried that my husband is only with me for money. I grew up in a nice neighborhood and went to good schools. My parents did not grow up with money and worked hard to become successful. My husband did not grow up with money and has not asked for anything. We do not share finances, as he loves to spend money. My parents asked me to come over for dinner as they wanted to talk. I went over and they told me that they had given husband a check for $500 to help with the baby room. I was surprised when they gave me another check for $1,000. I went home and saw my husband playing on a brand new PlayStation 5. I asked him where the money was that my parents gave him, and he admitted to using it on the PlayStation. I asked him about the $1,000 check, and he said, I'm using that on a new gaming PC. I pulled the check out and ripped it up. He starts yelling at me and calls me a petty bitch for destroying the check. I told my parents about everything, and they are demanding for their money back. His parents are calling me crazy and think I was in the wrong. Edit, for those asking where he bought the PS5 from, he bought it through someone locally. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole at all.
But I'm sitting here going, did he just not get it? Or, like, I think her parents would have been, like, fine if he had gone to Lowe's or Home Depot or 84 Lumber or whatever home improvement store, spent the money, bought, something, anything, and used maybe a small portion for something else. Like, who would care?
Yeah.
Like, you stopped and bought a game out of the $500. Meh. No big deal. You went and bought a PlayStation 5 with the $500 they gave you for the baby's room. Like, did you not understand why they gave you money?
Like, did you not understand it wasn't a personal gift? Congratulations, you carried on our DNA.
Yeah.
Dude's
No,
an asshole. Can we file for divorce tomorrow?
yeah. Like, well, yeah, there's a lot there. There's
Right.
a lot there. Like, it was already like red flaggy concerning enough that we don't share finances as he loves to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, no. But then I want to know what the hell his parents are on.
Well, I think his parents are on the, oh my God, your parents gave you this amount of money. We aren't going to be able to provide that. Why aren't, like, what's your deal here? But again, that just shows the immaturity and what I call poor mentality and bullshit that people do with their damn money.
Yeah. Like it, I just sit here and go, what were his parents thinking? Like, there's no defending this.
Right.
Like, what were you doing? Like, why would the parents defend that? His parents
Right.
defend that. Why?
Right.
Like, it's pretty clear and obvious that the money was for the baby room.
Yes.
Or for the baby. Or, put it up and save it for a rainy day and just go,
Right.
my in-laws are amazing.
Right.
But you spent it on a PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
Like, what magical sperm do you think you have?
Well, not only that, but why do you think that you get congratulated for creating a child when a child is going to be very expensive? Now, granted, I know that our current cultural situation is trying to rebuild the population from the ones they allowed to die because they would not enforce the laws on the books. But this is bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. Guys, you have to look at this and see it for what it is, which is point blank bullshit. This dude is an idiot. His wife needs to hurriedly protect herself and her child.
Yeah. I think you got a sperm donor, honey.
That's a guarantee.
Like, I just don't think this is going to be a long-term,
Right.
Like, I mean, part of me could like chastise her decision to have a child, like get married, have a child with someone who basically is a child.
Right.
This is how he acted. He acted like it was birthday money and someone just gave him a really big birthday check.
Right.
And he was just like, and it is a birthday check. It's just not for his birthday.
Right.
But gave him a birthday check and just like, go do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no.
Right.
Like, no. And then going to turn around and spend another $1,000 on a computer.
Right.
Like, that's the next layer of it, is like, you never had appreciation for what the money was for. You just saw money and went to spend it.
Right.
Yeah, Shannon, I think I'm there. If she's going to keep full control over the finances and give him an allowance, they might be able to make it work, but it's a matter of how big a problem it'll be. I don't know. I think Shannon has a point.
Mm-hmm.
If, they keep it very much split between hers and his.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's already paying most of the bills, buying most of the food, and most of her check goes towards savings. His part-time job does nothing for the house.
Well, except for take care of him.
Right.
Which sometimes that's not the worst.
I think it is.
Well, but hear me out. If he's bad with money, you don't want him on any of her accounts.
Right.
And it lets him go do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Right.
With a limit.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as she can toe the nope, I'm not giving you money for that. I'm not giving you a credit card. I'm not doing any of these things. You want to go blow your money, that's great. You go do that.
Right.
But stay out of mine.
Right. Yeah, but the other part of this is making sure that the family no longer benefits his addiction to gaming. The other part of this is looking at the bullshit this creates within a household. And also the stress is going to be on her because she's going to have to take maternity leave. And hello, we're in America, so she's not going to get funded for maternity leave.
Well, not guaranteed.
He cuts back to part-time so he can build a baby room.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Is lay concrete during the day and carve in the evenings? Please, this isn't the 1800s.
Yeah, pretty much. I
So
mean,
my
I don't know.
advice is see your lawyer, enforce your prenup, and get the fuck out of there before you have the child and then have to deal with 2 children.
Yeah, that might be a good life plan.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just still sitting here with it. Like, maybe it works out. Maybe, he brings something else to the table that is worth it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's one of those relationships she's okay with. She knew this going in, and she's like, yeah, he's an evergrown toddler.
Yep. Right.
And it's like, what you gonna do? It's best in the dating pool.
Right.
I mean, because, yeah.
Right.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah. So let's take some comments.
Yeah, we got a lot coming in. So Brenda's with she needs a partner, not another child.
Right.
Now Shannon's pointing out that her husband is kind of like that, can't save money to save his life. So he hands over money to make sure the bills got paid and then kept some spending money for himself. And she points out if they agree that his money is fun money and that he does stuff for her with it too, and that works for them, then cool. Yeah. But yeah, she basically found it better to have him handle some things before the rest, and he had to go back to Mexico. I will say there are couples that kind of break their finances that way, though. Like I've seen that one happen, is that they fit everything onto one paycheck. 2-income household live at the means of one paycheck. So if anything one ever happened to them, they wouldn't be hurting. But it was the smallest of the 2 paychecks. And then the rest of the money went into savings and paid for vacations and did fun things.
Right.
And it worked out for them. It was great. They had a nice little nest egg. They got to do a lot of fun things. They didn't live above means they couldn't support.
Right.
Because there was that one movie a few years ago. Everyone brings up the line about your sister's been through a lot, or my sister's been through a lot, and the husband or the boyfriend, whatever. Anyway, it's the couple that's divorcing, but they can't afford to.
Right.
Like, they'll lose the apartment because they independently cannot afford this damn apartment. So they try to live together. Anyway.
Right.
Like, that's a trap a lot of people get into. And it's easy anymore. We've redeveloped a world that's built for dual income, and it takes all of it.
Right. Which, I refer back to someone else's tagline: monogamy in this economy.
The breakup. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah.
Sorry, I could not get that to pop in my head. It was a Jennifer Aniston and what is it? Vince Vaughn?
Right.
I think. Anyway, fun movie, but a lot of people are in that situation that they're just too broke to divorce.
Right.
Or like they're skating by with 2 incomes.
Right.
And the cost of divorcing or splitting up is just no.
Right.
Like, I can't afford to live.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But anywho.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Tomorrow night we will have Miss Natalie on with her pendulum with her live show, and then of course we will be back on Sunday. It is our anniversary, but we still have to plan the week, so we will be on with Psychic That Plans. I hope you guys are enjoying this new format. Again, our times are earlier. We hope that that's okay. Our baristas, I believe, like it. And we're trying to keep to the hour-and-a-half mark. With that, we do want to take a moment to thank our baristas because they make our world so much easier.
All right, so Vanna takes it away. We would like to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Gish, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Dottie the Psychic, Tracy Van, Donna White, and the Laughing Tree Grove. If you'd like to learn more about us or the show or how you can become a barista yourself, please visit pcspnetwork.com.
Yes, and thank you, Shannon, for the reminder. We are taking this weekend to get the rebranding done and the rescheduling done and all that. It is a work in progress. All right, guys, we will see you lovely on Sunday with our planners in hand. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Mm.